Great news out of West Virginia, the latest state to expand telemedicine to its own citizens and lower the barriers for telemedicine for out-of-state practitioners. I'm Scott Radigan, and I'm the founder of Functional Lawyer and Origins Incubator. And today we have great news out of the state of West Virginia, which frankly isn't all that surprising. It's part of a larger trend of states lowering barriers to telemedicine. But the big part about it is that there are not a lot of restrictions. So um, West Virginia becomes the, depending on how you measure it, the 11th, 12th, or 13th state that has enacted some form of telemedicine registration for out-of-state practitioners to practice telemedicine in their state. Backing up a second, what that means is that where the patient is located is where the telemedicine is deemed to occur. And if you don't have a license or a special purpose registration, like West Virginia has just adopted, then you're practicing medicine there without a license. It's illegal. You can get fined criminally and civilly. So again, this is part of a growing trend where many states are offering what some people call special purpose licenses, but more accurately, they're technically called out-of-state practitioner registrations. Florida has, up to this point, had the most permissive, where you can really just register with the Department of State and practice telemedicine in Florida, so long as you don't practice there physically or open a physical office in the state of Florida. As I mentioned, there are more states that have similar provisions, but they place more restrictions on the out-of-state providers. Follow us at Functional Lawyer for that complete list. But today, West Virginia's law that was just passed into law that amends their code, the first part of April in 2021, just signed by the governor this past weekend or this past week, was very much like Florida. So very permissive and really allowing out-of-state providers to register with West Virginia and practice with the very, very small restrictions of not traveling there to practice in person and not opening a physical location there. So if you want to look it up, and I will post just links and some of the bill text in below. It's called House Bill 2024 of 2021 session, and it's going to be amending West Virginia Code 30-1-26 telehealth practice. So just a refresher, if you have forgotten your Schoolhouse Rock commercials or cartoons, the governor signed it into law. So it is now a law, it's no longer a bill. But what the law does is it charges the medical board that's in charge of doctors and other health professions, so nursing, chiropractic, and others, to come up with rules to implement this law. So it's effective today as a law already. However, it will take some time for those medical boards to promulgate the regulations that will allow you to actually register in West Virginia. So we're going to be tracking it here at Functional Lawyer. Make sure to keep following us, and you should be able to get your out-of-state registration in West Virginia here probably in the second quarter of 2021. If not, then definitely before 2022 and hopefully before the fall. So great news, part of a larger trend, and we're excited that the restrictions are low. And this is really ultimately going to be a bigger trend, and we'll be able to update you on all the things that are happening with telemedicine laws and licensing and regulation. Right now, this first half of the year is where all the state assemblies, state legislatures are getting together. A lot of them are considering similar legislation, and that will be one of the silver linings to come after this global pandemic. So great news out of West Virginia. Keep following us for when that actually becomes live and how to register with those medical boards or those licensing boards later on this year. And we'll see you in the next video.